Right now at 6, 24 cars torched in just the past month or so.
To be honest with you, I'm scared right now, park any car here.
Is it the work of a serial arsonist? We'll hear from auto shop owners desperate for police to catch whoever's setting them on fire.
He's sick. That's all I can tell.
Plus, major shakeups at Tesla after a disappointing year. The models on the outs and the big changes coming to the factory in Fremont. And an East Bay man, the latest Californian to die after eating toxic mushrooms.
So this is a deadly destroying angel.
The warnings from health experts and what a longtime hobbyist believes is driving the trend. And later,
this is where I spent 75–80% of my time.
He took his business from his garage to a popular brick and mortar. Why this Livermore bike shop owner says he now has no choice but to shut it all down.
This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us at 6. Tonight, arson investigators are trying to track down whoever is responsible for a string of recent car fires across San Jose. 24 cars have gone up in flames over the past several weeks, including 11 in just one night. And surveillance video from multiple auto shops has caught someone in the act. Our Brad Hamilton joins us live from San Jose with more on this. And Brad, authorities are still really looking into more. They have a lot of questions on this.
They do, Juliette. 24 arson investigations or 24 spots where this was hit. And they really don't know if all of them are connected. And right now, shop owners that we are speaking with really believe this might just be one man on a bike that is to blame. 24 suspicious car fires since mid-December. It's unclear if it's the work of a serial arsonist, but Sarge Shenarjri just wants it to stop.
They gotta do something, I don't know. But to be honest with you, I'm scared right now, park any car here.
Early Tuesday morning, just after midnight, surveillance cameras outside of Sarge's auto repair in San Jose captured one of the latest arsons. You see a person ride up on a bike, hop off, and walk toward the parked cars. Then they disappear behind one of the vehicles. For about 7 minutes, the person is out of view. And when they do reemerge, they get back on the bike and ride away. Minutes later, one of the cars is engulfed in flames. It wasn't until another person passing by noticed the fire that crews were called to put it out.
Could be worse than this. It could be if that guy, it didn't pass, at that time he didn't see the, fire. All these could be in a fire,
I had a chance to drive it a few times. Nice car.
Just days earlier, Barzad Banerjee says he lost 2 of his own vehicles outside of a German auto. When he heard about Sarge, he says it sounded exactly like what happened to him. In particular, the way the fire started near the gas tank.
The way he does it and the way he walk and the way he look. With that cap, with skinny guy on bike, grab the backpack, the way he does it, it was exactly the same guy.
The San Jose Fire Department confirmed that it is investigating the string of arsons. On Tuesday alone, between midnight and 1:30 a.m., 11 vehicles were set on fire in 5 different areas.
From all the cars that we had, here, even though that one too.
For Sarge and Farzad, every night now comes with the same question and the same frustration.
Is going to be my turn today, tomorrow, next week?
He's sick. That's all I can tell,
Okay, so if you have any of that surveillance footage that you saw in this story, police are encouraging people. Please bring it to them, and any other tips, call San Jose Police or San Jose Fire. Juliette?
Yeah, absolutely. Something's got to come forward. All right. Brad, thanks so much. We want to get to some new developments in the crime spree that actually ended in a deadly shootout in downtown San Jose. So the U.S. Marshal's Office says it has arrested an accomplice. Authorities say Edward Macias dropped the main suspect, Mohammed Hussein, off at a San Jose car dealership last Wednesday, where he stole a green Corvette right there. Macias is also accused of being involved with armed robberies and another attempted carjacking with Hussein in the days before. It was after Macias allegedly dropped Hussein off that the violent crime spree began. Police say Hussein led law enforcement on a multi-county chase that ended back in San Jose. He then shot and injured a San Jose sergeant and was killed when he was shot and run over by San Jose police. The police department says now they are not looking for any more suspects. All right, to San Francisco, where a jury has released more findings in the case involving the killing of an elderly Asian man known as Grandpa Vicha. Earlier this month, jurors convicted Antoine Watson of involuntary manslaughter. Jurors then heard further arguments this week on aggravating factors that could influence sentencing. Today, they accepted 2 of the 3. One found that the victim was particularly vulnerable. The other, that the crime involved callousness, cruelty, or viciousness. DA Brooke Jenkins says this will impact the sentence prosecutors recommend to the judge.
This is someone who, again, we proceeded on a murder theory with and believe that his actions necessitated more custody time. And so I want to make sure that the message is clear in San Francisco that you don't get to attack anyone, certainly not our most vulnerable.
Watson has been in custody for 5 years and faces maximum 9-year sentence. The Trump administration says that San Jose State violated Title IX by allowing a transgender player on the women's volleyball team. So the U.S. Education Department says the inclusion of a transgender player created unfairness in competition. The player, who never publicly came out as transgender, played for San Jose State from 2022 to 2024. The Education Department issued several demands, including that the school issue a personalized apology to every single other Spartan player during those years, along with any player on a team that chose to forfeit rather than face the Spartans during the 2024 season. So we reached out to SJSU for comment. A spokesperson told us the school is in the process of reviewing the department's findings and resolution demands. All right, on to an off-court brawl. It caused chaos at a Livermore High School basketball game last night. Police say teens were fighting in the gym foyer, and one was knocked unconscious. The suspects took off before officers arrived. Livermore High School says the game against De La Salle has been postponed, and when it is rescheduled, there will be increased security. The school also says it is working with police on the investigation. A man has died after eating poisonous mushrooms at a regional park in Contra Costa County. County health officials say they believe the man, who was in his 60s, was foraging and mistook the mushroom for an edible species from his home country. The death comes as state health officials are reporting a huge spike in cases of wild mushroom poisoning. They say that since November 18th, 39 people have gotten sick and 4 died. Multiple people have needed liver transplants. Our Max Darrow looks at what's driving this trend and has advice from experts.
There are thousands of different kinds of mushrooms growing in California, but there is a fungi right now, as Debbie Weiss points out.
Aha, here they are.
That is public enemy number 1.
Amanita phalloides. They're also known as death caps.
They're responsible for what the California Department of Public Health is calling an ongoing outbreak of amatoxin poisonings across the state. Weiss, the co-founder of the Bay Area Mycological Society, knew trouble was coming back in November.
My husband and I noticed that there were a lot more Amanita phalloides than usual in the field. And we were getting reports from others too, so it wasn't just us noticing. And so we alerted California Poison Control that it was going to be another super bloom year.
Between the rain, the warm-up, and potential energy,
all the conditions were just perfect.
The last major outbreak was in 2016, but was of much smaller scale. Officials say many of the victims don't speak English. Dr. Craig Smolin is with UCSF Emergency Medicine.
And there's a large, community of people who forage mushrooms for food. And these mushrooms may look very much like edible mushrooms in other parts of the world and can easily be mistaken. And I think that is playing a role in some of these cases.
The California Department of Public Health is urging people to not pick or eat wild mushrooms right now.
There's no part of the state that would be considered a, death cap free zone.
But Weiss says people are still going to forage anyway.
So this is a deadly destroying angel.
So she offered a much more nuanced warning.
Don't eat wild mushrooms if you don't know what the heck you're doing. Don't eat wild mushrooms if you're not quite sure of your identification. Don't eat wild mushrooms if you haven't spent some time studying the local mushrooms.
It's easy to mistake edible mushrooms for poisonous mushrooms. Here's a look at 2 types of amanitas. One of them is safe, the other could kill you. And here's another.
Mushrooms are as variable as human beings, so they don't all look alike, and sometimes that can get us in trouble too.
Vicha is hopeful this unfortunate situation will point people towards better education.
But if you want to eat wild mushrooms, you have to learn how to eat them safely, and that takes time.
Time here, in the hopes of preventing a potentially deadly mistake.
She had such good common sense. Makes sense. All right, we have an update on that mountain lion y'all saw that was captured after roaming San Francisco's Pacific Heights neighborhood. He's now back in the wild. So this is a new video from the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. It shows the young male mountain lion being released into the Santa Cruz Mountains this morning. The department didn't specify exactly where. He was caught after being cornered in Pac Heights yesterday. They put a tracker on him before releasing him back in the wild. Besides San Francisco, this mountain lion has been spotted in Saratoga and near the Lexington Reservoir. All right, hope he's happy now. Still ahead here at 6, Tesla making some big changes to its product line, what it could mean for the thousands of workers at the company's Fremont factory. Plus, we'll meet an East Bay bike shop owner who says President Trump's tariffs made it an uphill ride to keep his business open. We'll talk to him about the tough decision and his next chapter.
I've got time and energy and passion, and, one door closes, another one opens.
So we are following a developing story out of Santa Rosa right now. Sonoma County fire officials have issued a shelter-in-place order because of a gas leak on the southern end of the city. This is for anyone in the area of Santa Rosa Avenue, right off of 101, south of the Todd Road exit. Fire officials say the leak is potentially hydrogen cyanide and that anyone in that area needs to stay indoors until further notice. We'll continue to update you as this progresses and we get more information. All right, some big changes are coming to Tesla. The EV giant announced it plans to end production of its Model S and Model X. On the company's earnings call, CEO Elon Musk called the move, quote, an honorable discharge. Now, these are Tesla's oldest vehicles, but they are high price tags. They have made them less popular than other models. Both are built at Tesla's Fremont factory, which is also seeing a major shift. Now, Musk says Model S and X production lines at the plant will be converted to build Optimus humanoid robots. It's part of his broader vision. Here we go.
We'll give Jules a break. He says factory headcount will grow as production ramps up and that the goal is to start building robots before the end of the year. We'll continue to give Jules a break to catch her voice. A popular Livermore bicycle shop is closing its doors for good on Saturday. The owner of AJ's Family Cyclery told our Katie Nielsen that between the economic downturn and tariffs on goods produced overseas, he just can't keep the shop open.
Yeah, this was endless hours in here.
There was once a time not long ago this workspace felt small, but as AJ Wright stands here now, everything has changed.
This is where I spent 75-80% of my time was just in here turning bikes over every day.
Working on bicycles. That's how AJ got started all the way back in 2020 during the pandemic when he was struggling to pay rent after being laid off.
I basically made an Instagram post and just said, hey, does anybody need help with their bikes? And literally, I started getting a flood of messages from friends. Friends had told other friends. And then before I knew it, within a few weeks, I had basically a 5 to 6 day schedule of doing 7 to 10 bikes a day.
He was working out of his garage at the time, and a neighbor reported him to the city for operating a business out of a residential area. He started a petition, and more than 12,000 people signed it, urging the city to change the codes so he could stay. The issue went all the way to the city council, and after getting support from the mayor, AJ was allowed to keep working out of his garage.
It just was so much fun every single day, meeting new people, working on different bikes. Everything was there was different problems to solve.
He got so busy, He moved out of the garage and into a brick and mortar storefront, still repairing bikes, but expanding the business into selling new ones as well.
This is a really big task. This is a very big goal. I had no idea if I was even going to be able to pull it off, but I just was like, I want to try.
He opened AJ's Family's Cyclery off Concannon Boulevard in 2024, one of the worst years for bicycle sales in decades. But at the start of 2025, AJ had built a cycling community around the shop, and his sales were picking up.
Things were selling, things were moving. The economy, I was like, whoa. I was like, we are seeing a humongous turnaround. Literally, like, it was a night and day difference. And I was like, this is going to be my saving grace.
But right when things seemed to be getting better, the tariffs hit, and hit the cycling world hard, because almost all bicycle parts and components are made overseas.
Service demand plummeted, sales demand plummeted, and then the cost of everything went substantially up.
He tried to hang on through the holidays to see if that would make a difference, but not one bicycle sold the entire month of December. So, at the beginning of January, he made the difficult decision to close.
Would you do it all over again?
Yeah.
You had it to go back and do it again. Would you still do it?
Yeah, 100%. I've got time and energy and passion, and, you know, one door closes, another one opens, and tomorrow's a new day, and there's endless possibilities for what tomorrow could bring, so I always look forward to that.
AJ said while he still hasn't decided on what his next chapter will be, he hopes it somehow includes bicycles and still being part of the cycling community.
Love his optimism as well. In the meantime, the Supreme Court is still weighing whether or not President Trump's tariffs are even legal. The High Court fast-tracked oral arguments in November at the request of the White House, but now the justices are not scheduled to take the bench until late February. Now here's my hero, Paul.
Always happy to pick up whenever a tickle hits the throat. Let's take a look at the temperatures that we maxed out at today. Low to mid 60s across the Bay Area. Not bad at all. That little bit of rain yesterday helped our air quality today. It's not going to last long, though. We're going to track a return to the haze on the horizon coming up in First Alert Weather. We had some very light rain showers scoot across the Bay Area yesterday evening and last night. Didn't amount to much more than a few hundredths of an inch of total rainfall, but it was the only rain that we've seen for the past few weeks. Now that storm system has moved out. There's still moisture being aimed at the coast of the Pacific Northwest, and you can see that train of cloud cover extending well over the Pacific. A couple of atmospheric rivers are going to be directed towards Oregon and Washington and even the north coast of California over the course of the next several days. Well, the Bay Area is going to get back into a dry weather pattern. There is a chance that some of the moisture here is going to sneak down towards our northern counties on Sunday, but the chances have diminished to 20% or even lower than that. So we're going to add some clouds to the 7-day forecast, but no actual raindrops once we get to that point in the forecast. And beyond that, forecast looks really dry. This is the 6 to 10-day outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. So forget the 7-day outlook. We're looking beyond that for the next rain chance. Well, we're not going to find it in the next 10 days. And the 8 to 14-day outlook, while it's not as strong a signal towards very dry conditions, still not many signs of optimism that we're going to see even the next hint of rain headed our way until likely after Super Bowl Sunday. And that's still at least a week and a half away. So the air quality is going to be a concern once again. At least today, we got back to a mix of good and moderate air quality readings, and we should see that once again tomorrow before it's moderate across the entire Bay Area on Friday. Some orange dots, unhealthy for sensitive groups, probably returning to inland parts of the East Bay on Saturday. But just the passing storm system to our north on Sunday, even if it doesn't give us a decent chance of rain, it should stir the atmosphere enough to send us back into better air quality for the second half of the weekend. But again, those effects are going to be temporary. Likely going to see that haze returning as we head through the first week of February. Right now, looking outside from Salesforce Tower, things are calm. Temperatures in the 50s across the board. Hardly any variation in our temperatures. We were all in the low to mid 60s this afternoon. We're all in the mid to upper 50s right now. 56 degrees in Livermore, the cool spot. Just 2 degrees warmer in San Francisco for the warm spot at 58 degrees. Dog walking forecast for tomorrow is looking pretty good. Take advantage of that better air quality while it lasts. We've got Gino and Bug, who look like they are old pros at basking in the sunshine. After some morning fog in Vallejo, we should see that after some afternoon sunshine emerging with temperatures reaching back up into the low 60s. Let's track the fog as we head through the rest of tonight. And like it has been for so much of this winter, it's really going to be confined to the Central Valley for the most part. But some of that Tule fog is going to try to sneak through the Delta and make its way into interior valleys of the East Bay. And that's going to slow down the warm up in those locations. But the rest of us are going to warm up quickly after a pretty normal start, a mix of upper 30s and low to mid 40s. High temperatures tomorrow afternoon will reach up into the mid to upper 60s in the Santa Clara Valley. You'll be the warm spots on the map. But even the coolest locations where the fog slows the warm up down, get up to around 60 in Antioch and Brentwood. Same temperature around Fairfield, with temperatures around the Bay in the middle portion of the 60s, mid-60s for the coast, and also in the mid-60s for most of the North Bay by tomorrow afternoon. Not much change to our day-to-day temperatures as we look at the 7-day outlook, kind of wobbling around the low to mid-60s. A little more cloud cover Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Sunday, if we're going to see a chance of a shower, it's mainly going to be over the North Bay, and it's not going to amount to much more than a few sprinkles on the windshield. Plenty of sunshine as we head through next week with maybe a little bit of a baby warm-up by Tuesday and Wednesday. Jules?
A baby warm-up.
Baby
Okay,
warm-up.
Paul, thank you. When we come back, one of the greatest guitarists in history who got his start in San Francisco is getting a major honor at the Grammys. We are just a few days away from the 68th Annual Grammy Awards, and it's no surprise to see plenty of nominees from the Bay Area. So legendary guitarist Carlos Santana already has 10 Grammys. Now the virtuoso musician will get another prestigious honor, the Recording Academy's Lifetime Achievement Award. Here's Sarah Donchie.
The award recognizes legends whose work has profoundly impacted music. No one is more deserving than Carlos Santana. His guitar's signature sound is a pioneering fusion of Latin jazz, African rhythms, blues, and rock. In 2021, the musician spoke to CBS This Morning about his spiritual journey.
I have to thank those archangels who make it possible for me to go from a dishwasher to who I am today.
Carlos was born in Mexico, but at age 14, moved with his family to San Francisco's Mission District. 5 years later, he founded the Santana Band. In 2021, the Mission District paid tribute to Carlos and his family by revealing a new mural at the BART Plaza on 24th Street. For Carlos Santana, music is a mystical medicine.
When you do it like this, we're in the fifth dimension. I'll meet you there. God bless you.
In addition to Santana, the other 2026 honorees include Cher, my favorite, Paul Simon, Fela Kuti, Shaka Khan, and the late Whitney Houston. The 2026 Grammy Awards are this Sunday at 5 p.m. You can watch it right here on KPIX or stream it live on Paramount+. All right, CBS EV News is next on KPIX. Our local news continues streaming always on our streaming service. We're back here at 7 o'clock with more local news just for you. See you then.